Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of No Huddle. Today, we'll be taking a look at my top 5 tight ends in the class of 2023. We'll be starting out at number 5 and work our way down to the best tight end in the country. Let's get things started. I have a two-way tie for number 5. At 5A, I have Pierce Spurlin. He's headed to Georgia next year. Pierce is a 6'6", 240-pound tight end from Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. He has a large frame and is a big tight end that can also move well at his size. Very long wingspan gives him such a large catch radius. At his size, you'd expect him to be a good blocker, but there isn't much film of him being a blocker. At the end of the offensive line, like an inline blocker, not much film on that. That is the one thing he'll have to work on once he arrives at Georgia. But back to the receiving side of things, he's great all around, whether that's releasing off the line of scrimmage or gaining separation when breaking off routes. He lined up in the slot a lot these past 2 seasons, and I think his projection at the next level is to do the same thing. You see a guy like Brock Bowers in that system who's a great blocker, but his main attribute is being a receiver and lining up in the slot majority of the time. Pierce has all the intangibles and attributes to be a good tight end at the next level. At 5B, we have Walker Lyons. Walker, he's not committed anywhere. I know USC, Utah, Georgia, Stanford's still in there. They're battling it out to get this very talented tight end. Walker's a 6'4", 230-pound tight end from Folsom, California. Now, unlike Spurlin, he loves to block and is a very physical player. When blocking, he does understand leverage and likes to get physical and block until the play is over. As a receiver, he also has the knowledge and ability to be a great pass catcher. Long wingspan, long arms, and large hands are things that stand out to me. He can go up and get 50-50 balls, and if they're not 50-50, that means he gained enough separation on his routes that he's so open that he can make the easy catch. In his film, he may not look like the most agile or athletic guy out there, but he uses his strength to move defensive backs off their feet and gain an advantage down the field. He'll have to work to get where he wants to be athletically down the line, but in this day and age, coaches love tight ends that can line up out wide and spread the defense out. I fully expect him to excel at the next level and develop into an NFL draft prospect. At number 4, we have Ethan Davis. He's headed to Knoxville, play for Josh Heupel at Tennessee. Ethan is a 6'5", 235-pound tight end from Suwanee, Georgia. What Tennessee is getting here is someone who can fit into their system and fill a need perfectly and probably right away. Tennessee loves to air it out. They run the Josh Heupel air raid that came from Mike Leach. Same philosophy, but with the wide splits to the sidelines. They line up outside the numbers, so the tight end's in the middle of the field, and he really has the whole field to work with. And when I watch Ethan play, it seems like a match made in heaven. We're talking about a mismatch nightmare here and someone who can cut it up the seams and split the safeties. At 6'5", he's a very fluid runner, and once he gets going, he's one of the faster players on the field. But speed isn't everything with him. He can run routes, line up at receiver, take jet sweeps if he needs to, and is a very agile and athletic player. His basketball background is something I think will benefit him for a long time. Basketball and football require a few different body motions and exercises, and having a mixture of the two will help him in his development at the next level. Coming at number 3, we have Riley Williams. He's headed to Miami. Riley is a 6'6", 245-pound tight end from IMG Academy down in Bradenton, Florida. Before moving down south to Florida, Williams was one of the most sought-after prospects from the Pacific Northwest. He grew national attention because of his rare size and speed. With a huge frame, he has room to add muscle down the line. Adding muscle to this kind of athlete he already is will make him a very attractive player 3 to 4 years when the NFL draft comes around, and I fully expect him to be in the running for one of the top tight ends in his draft class. He's an overall dynamic player with receiver skills and a tight end body. Whether we're talking his route running, speed, or catch radius, everything stands out. I said he's a great athlete, but watching the film and following his recruitment, he has said he's working on cutting bad weight down and getting faster. We saw a quick glimpse of that at IMG this past season. Getting to that program, we started to see an improved top-end speed, but also short area quickness when cutting off his routes. Next up, at number 2, we have Jelani Thurman. He's headed to Ohio State. He's one of my favorite prospects in this class. Jelani is a 6'5", 235-pound tight end from the state of Georgia. Now, the main reason I have Jelani at number 2 ahead of some other great tight ends is simply because of what this kid can become. He's the biggest project of the tight ends I listed, And even with that, he looks like a natural football player out there. He's already so good at playing tight end, but he hasn't developed his route running, and he could also improve as a blocker. Much like Ethan Davis, he's very athletic and has everything you want in a tight end that's going to a pass-heavy offense. We're talking elite speed, hand size, wingspan, and burst off the line of scrimmage. He gets open a lot easier than he should, and that's a credit to him. He doesn't run very crisp routes and sometimes rounds out his cuts down the field. But like I said, it just looks like he was meant to play football. He just knows what to do out there. And every ball thrown his way, he goes up and snags it out of the air. His ability to catch the ball will help him project. And his development, I think, is going to go faster than most people expect. He has the opportunity to get some playing time year one in Columbus, even with some guys returning. I said he was a project. I think he is. But like I just said, the ability to catch like he can, that's going to speed up that development, and I think we can see him on the field early. At number 1, we have Deuce Robinson. He's currently uncommitted. He just announced the top 4 of USC, Texas, Georgia, and Oregon. He will be committing on February 1st, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Deuce is a 6'6", 225-pound tight end out of Phoenix, Arizona. He's regarded by all recruiting services, along with myself, to be the best tight end in the class of 2023. A lot of top programs are still in pursuit to get Deuce, but a 6'6" tight end that runs like a receiver is very common in this class, as you can see. But Deuce he's just at a different level. I see a lot of Darren Waller with some Travis Kelce mixed in there. He has the athleticism and speed that Waller has. He can release and beat press like a receiver. He breaks off routes very well, and with the 6'11" wingspan, the 50-50 balls are more like 80-20 in favor of him. Where I see the Travis Kelce is knowing how to get open and where to go after the catch. Getting open, like when he's facing his zone coverage, he'll just find a soft spot, sit in the open spot, turn around, and the quarterback's going to find him. And after the catch, he's a slippery guy to tackle. He's not going to juke you out, but he can control his pace very well. That pace is also noticeable when he's running his routes. Specifically when facing man coverage, he'll start slow and lull the defender to sleep, just to accelerate and break off a route in one motion, just like that. Especially on corner routes, he'll jog down the field, fake in the inside, cut it out to the left or the outside of the field. It's just the things you can't really teach that makes Deuce Robinson the top tight end prospect in the 2023 class. And with that being said, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.